How you doing? How you doing? My man is going to live. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend as well. How you doing? How's everybody's weekend been? I'm about to send out the link for the live real quick so we can get this going. Says I need to change the video resolution. What do I need to change? The current resolution is 2560 by 1440, which is not supported. So I need to be on 1920 by 1080. Okay. I don't even know if it'll let me switch right now. Yeah, it's not gonna let me switch. Well, let me know if there's any issues with the stream. If there is, I'll have to restart it. Just let me know if it looks weird or if it drops or anything like that, because it's giving me a little error. But if not, we'll just let it rock. It was a good weekend just for family. Absolutely. Weekends are always for the family. Alright, let's let some people get in here. I'm gonna post a link and then we'll get it going. Why do you sound like you want to take all our what? Relax. This is just my voice. Can't even talk. Can't even speak anymore. Alright, let me post this on Twitter and then we'll get it going. Bro still wants to take his girl. I have a girlfriend, brother. I don't want your girl. I don't want your girl. Your girl don't want me. It's a win-win. Alright, I'm gonna tweet this out and then we'll be good. Let me know if the music's too loud or anything, or if you guys are hearing double. Are you hearing double in my voice? I think you are. You are. Okay. I just noticed that. Alright, we should be good now. Let me know if let me know if the music is too loud or not, but I just fixed the other issue. You guys probably were hearing double of me, but I just fixed the audio, so we should be good now. What's good, Thomas? Sounds good. Alright, cool. Let's get into it. I'm gonna just tweet the link out real quick and we'll get it going. All right, we got the webcam going now. We got the little webcam going. This thing's so cool. It's like AI. Watch. It literally tracks me. For those of you that are in the Discord, you probably saw the video. It literally will follow me wherever I go. Crazy. It's so cool. So yeah, we got the webcam going now. If you feel like it's obstructing your view at all, I can move it. So just let me know. Feel free to say something in the chat, and I will move that for you. Yeah, the webcam is sick. I love it. What's good, Julian? How's it going? All right. I just want to post a link on Twitter. I forgot to do that. And then we'll get it going. Up right. I could do up right. What do you guys think? Do you want it down in the bottom left or right there? Let me know which is better. Whatever you guys prefer. What's up? What's up, Stunner? I like your hairstyle. Thank you. Appreciate it. I have a receding hairline. You can probably see. My dad's bald, so I'll be getting those genetics in the future, unfortunately, but it is what it is. You deal with the cards you're dealt. David, what's butt? What do you mean button? Upright. All right, I'll do it in the upright. Finally, NFP week is over, but we got CPI ahead of us. Yes, sir, bro. NFP. See that lineup, my guy. Let's go. What's your muting routine? Shit. Look maxing or whatever. All right, let's get into it. Start with dollar. You guys know Joe. But before we look at dollar, we're going to look at the economic calendar. So let me move this over. All right. So NFP got my hairline back. That thing's running from me. Nah, it's really just my genetics, unfortunately. I eat really clean. I work out. I'm like very much into the health stuff. And yeah, my hairline is still cooked. So it is what it is. I don't know why it won't let me put the picture on the screen. Why can't I put the picture up? Oh, you know what I could do? I'll do it like this. Let's do it like this. All right. If you want, let me tell you about my weekly watch list. Yeah, go ahead, bro. I'm down to hear it. Just coming back from X, man. It's been crazy. Notifications been blasting my phone. Bro, make sure you drop a video on how to anticipate news on intraday trading days. Also a video on how to trade. I made a video on IRL to ERL already. It's no different intraday than swing. IRL to ERL is just getting your bias. It's getting your draw on liquidity. And it's just a super simple way of viewing, you know, liquidity or fair value. So that's the only two things price does, is seeks liquidity or offers fair value. IRL and ERL is just a simplified version of that. So whether that's when you're swinging, using it for like drawing liquidity for your swings, or intraday, it's all the same thing. But yeah, I could do a video on news for sure. Go Italy. Yeah, I'm Italian. I'm Italian and Portuguese. All right, so looking at the economic calendar, I actually just realized that this is just for US dollar. So I don't have the other news drivers on here. Let me see. For those of you that only trade indices or majors, USD, correlated pairs, then this economic calendar is relevant to you. But I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of the one with everything, because I know a lot of you guys still trade forex. A lot of you are looking at forex and the currencies. So let me just go ahead and take the entire screenshot. All right. EU, AJ are bearish for me. Interesting. I'll have to have a look at it. We'll see where I'm at. Okay, so there's no news Monday, right? Very first thing that we're doing before we even look at dollar or any other currencies is getting a feel for the economic calendar, understanding what days there are red folder news, because red folder news provides volatility injection for price. It gives us our hint. It gives it's like price tipping its hat at us at how at how that week's going to deliver. And so if we just understand the economic calendar and what days have red folder and what days don't, we usually can get a good idea of what days are going to be lethargic, consolidating, etc., etc. You guys hear me talk about this every week. It's very, very important. This is the start of your edge. This is the start of your, tilting probabilities in your favor. So it's very important to do this. And whether I'm demanding news on the day or not, I'm still always using the economic calendar as my roadmap. All right. So Monday has no news, right? So I already am inherently expecting Monday to lack volatility. I'm expecting Monday to be lethargic. We know that Mondays are usually accumulation for the weekly profile, for the weekly range. And so with a lack of red folder on Monday and it just being Monday, we're expecting consolidation. We're expecting a lack of fall through. So Monday already is looking like, slow. And I would be expecting more volatility later in the week. Tuesday, we have British pound red folder and Canadian dollar red folder. So there's nothing on US dollar as well. So for the US dollar correlated pairs or indices or whatever, there's no red folder for USD. So just pound and Canadian dollar. Those two would be valid to trade intraday because those currencies likely have volatility. Wednesday, we have pound red folder and USD red folder. I'm gonna actually move this so that I'm not looking all the way to the left. There you go. So yeah, pound USD red folder on Wednesday, CPI. So that's a big 3 news driver. We have that on Wednesday. So price could likely hold up on USD pairs or indices Monday, Tuesday because there's a lack of red folder, and just wait for CPI to actually deliver. CPI, like I said, is a big 3 news driver. And so we want to not be holding positions through that and potentially anticipating price to be lethargic until then. You actually trade orange folder news if there is no red folder. I don't even look at orange folder. I just look at red and white. So white is like bank holidays, and I really just look at red and white. That's all I care about. I want to know what days we're actually likely to expand and what days we have no news. Euro has red folder on Thursday. USD has red folder on Thursday. PPI, unemployment claims. And then Friday, there's no red folder on anything. So basically the middle of the week is where the volatility should be. It's usually how it is anyway, Tuesday through Thursday. Those are usually my best trading days in my opinion. Mondays and Fridays are the worst. Mondays are usually chop, consolidation, accumulation for the weekly profile. And then Fridays are usually like a retracement back into the range. That's usually how it goes in terms of, the weekly candle delivery. So with that being said, let's get into the actual analysis. I'm gonna move this back over to the left. Weekly profile and weekly AMD is everything. I guess it is enough. I like indirectly worry about weekly profile without worrying about it, because I'm just worried about what the candles are doing. So it's basically the same thing, but it's not. First thing I'm doing is starting on dollar. All right. So this discount array, this monthly sell side, was something I mentioned. I want to be taking a step back, or at least watching to see how price reacts from this monthly sell side. Do we respect it and then retrace back into this range? So do we wick it and then retrace back in to the range? Or do we expand through and have a body close? So that's something that I've been mentioning for a while. When we trade into these monthly or not like monthly, weekly, or daily higher time frame discount array or PD arrays, you want to be gauging if we expand through them, like have a body close through them, or if we, just wick and respect them. So it's very important to understand. So this is our monthly sell side. We are respecting it as of right now, and we traded into this weekly internal, right? This weekly bearish fair value gap. So we have this sell side down here. Let me move this. Are you waiting for a fair value gap to be made on the monthly? Yeah, so on the monthly, we haven't created it yet. There's still 22 days, so I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, in 22 days, we might create a fair value gap. But right now, I'm not worried about it because it's, you know, it's almost an entire month away. So weekly fair value gap, bearish fair value gap. I'm looking for lower prices here. We will see on the lower time frames that the 4 hours confirming that we're moving lower here. And so I'm looking for potentially lower dollar still. Weekly internal to external, we have a clear draw from the bearish fair value gap to the sell side. SRP, you're full time. Yes, sir. Dixie is 50-50 right now. CPI will give the most direction. Yeah, I gotta look at the lower time frames, but to me on the weekly, it looks like it's going lower. But we do have that little wick here. I would expect this daily gap to hold. So if we drop on the daily, we're respecting the daily. This is a large wick candle. I'm still expecting lower dollar. But yeah, CPI, I agree, will bring some clarity. But I am favoring shorts on dollar for sure. So bearish dollar to me, daily internal to external, weekly internal to external, CPI later in the week on Wednesday. So all these things I'm understanding and factoring into my analysis with dollar. But this is kind of gross right here, delivery, but I am expecting lower. They're bearish for me too, but at the same time, I'm bearish for EU. Interesting. See, I'm bearish on dollar. I don't trade dollar, but we'll just add it to the short list to illustrate that I'm bearish on it. So for all these futures currencies, 6A, 6B, 6C, 6E, they're pretty much going to be the exact same thing as my analysis on majors. So when I analyze these futures contracts, just understand that I'm analyzing the majors as well. If you prefer, I'll just go through the majors. It's the same thing. You know, the only difference is that yen, Swiss franc, and CAD are considered, you know, the base currencies with the currency futures, but with the majors, US dollar is the base currency. You only trade expansion leg. Yeah, I only trade expansions. I only trade for value gaps. You know, I wait for price to actually show that it wants to move, and then that's when I'm looking to trade. Monthly sell side, respect of that. We swept this previous candle high. It's looking like sloppy delivery. We're not falling through higher. We didn't expand through. Now we're retracing back into this weekly gap. I don't like Australian USD right now. This doesn't look that beautiful to me. Not a big fan of this delivery, so I'm just gonna ignore it. If dollar is bearish, does it mean that indices will be bullish? Yeah, so in an ideal world, indices should move inversely. They should be inversely correlated to dollar. But what you've seen for the last year or two, maybe not the last 2 years, but the last year, at least from my experience, what I've been seeing in the charts, indices are just doing their own thing. But yeah, in an ideal world, if dollar's bearish, indices should be bullish. They should be inversely correlated, but they've just kind of been doing their own thing. EU has this monthly third candle, but again, that's 22 days away, so I'm not worried about it. Dropping to the weekly, we have potential weekly internal to external, but we didn't really expand higher. The currency futures actually stung into this, right? Whereas the forex pair EU did not, which is interesting stuff, but I am still expecting potentially higher on euro, dollar. I'm bullish. I'm bearish on dollar. So I'm bullish on EU, GU, AU, NU. But I want to be trading what's the most clear. So you have this daily gap we're respecting with the order block. I'm expecting higher prices still. Add EU to the long list. GU, that's a strong retracement there. Weekly internal to external. This is our area of fair value right here. This overlapping area I'm about to mark. Can you look monthly to EU? It's just this. There's really nothing here on the monthly to you know, take anything from for me. Chop, bullish order flow objectively. We're on the third candle creating that monthly fair value gap, but it's not relevant to me because it's in 22 days. So there's really nothing here that's that relevant to me other than this sell side, or sorry, the buy side sweep. right here, but we have SMT with GU in a monthly fair value gap. I don't look at SMT, and I'm not worried about anything over here personally for high trade. I'm only worried about the current legs, so it's really not relevant to me. Daily, internal to external, I'm looking for higher prices, like I said, on EU. I'm going to be bullish on GU as well, most likely. Weekly, internal to external, you know, bullish fair value gap to the buy side. Strong retracement here, but I do ultimately think that this can respect and head higher. EU looks better than GU to me. I'm not even gonna add it for now. We'll just leave it. I don't like how this looks at all, just off the bat. Right off the bat, I'm just not liking how this looks. Monthly, sloppy. Weekly, bullish fair value gap. Right here that we could potentially respect and head higher. Because like I said, I am bearish on dollar. So I want to be seeing bullish prices on anything XXX USD. Not a huge fan. Monthly, sloppy. Weekly, trading into this area of fair value. So if we're going to head lower, we should do so from here. If we're going to get lower prices, which would make sense because I am bearish on dollar. So USD CAD could be nice for shorts. I kind of like this. This looks pretty good. So I'd be watching this to potentially go lower with a lower dollar. I'm going to add that to the short list. Daily, nothing really here to take from that. But this weekly internal to external looks nice once we get the 4-hour shift. So once we get this 4-hour shift in order flow and it confirms that we're moving lower, USD CAD shorts could be nice. Weekly internal to external played out. We have a new move here, so I'm not worried about this leg anymore. This is the only leg I'm worried about, the most recent swing low to swing high, right? So within that leg, there's going to be a new daily leg here, and the exact same thing is true. But there's really not much to take from USD CHF right now. There's no context. We've already swept this sell side here. We can potentially go lower towards this sell side down here, which would be, you know, the sell side on the monthly, because we're failing to head higher. So I'd be looking at this monthly sell side as my draw, but I don't love it. I do ultimately think that goes lower though. USD CHF, USD yen, USD CAD, I'm looking for lower prices on all of them because I'm bearish on dollar. This can still go lower towards that sell side. Bearish on USD JPY as well. Monthly looks like a breakaway gap, but again, there's still 22 days. So, but yeah, this looks good for lower. Really close to the draw though. So let's look at the order flow on these crosses here. Monthly bullish order flow, just consolidating on the monthly. I don't like how this looks at all. Nothing is falling through. It's just chop on the monthly. We're failing to head higher from that bullish weekly for value gap. Daily, I don't like AUD CAD. Can you show your dollar annotation again? So I start on the monthly. Monthly is just not following through either way, but it's looking like we're going lower. We have already swept this sell side. This is that area that I was interested in watching for a potential retracement because we took the sell side. So now we might want to retrace higher back into that range. So this weekly range, which is what we saw, right? It's exactly what we mentioned previously, where we can get a retracement from that monthly sell side into that range. So now I can expect us to potentially move lower. If we're going to move lower, we should do so from here. So this daily gap should hold, and we should move lower towards the sell side. So I'm bearish on dollar, long story short. AUD CAD I didn't like. This looks like a breakaway gap on the monthly. UYS like. I'm looking for lower here, but there's no context as of right now, but I do expect this to move lower. On Sundays, I'm just looking for clear context. I'm looking for clear draws and liquidity. So clear monthly internal to external here. This could be really nice. Because then you have a whole month of a clear draw to sell side on the monthly. Weekly internal to external playing out. I'm looking for lower. Daily, this looks good. I like AUD, JPY for shorts. Add that to the short list. This looks good. Monthly sell side here. We're not following through higher. Weekly, there's no context, but we are moving lower towards that sell side. Daily, this looks like a daily sell model to me. Still looking for potentially lower, but there's no context right now. Which prop firm are you using for futures? I use Top Step, I use My Funded Futures, and I use Apex. Just those three right now. As of right now, those are the only people I'm funded with. So right now I'm at about, I think, 750,000 in futures funding. And they're all 50K accounts because it's super easy to pass 50Ks. That's all you need to make a ton of money. And because with futures it's different, you don't need big 200K, 300K futures accounts because you can just have 20 of them on a copier. So it's not like these other forex firms where like you can only have, say, 400K max allocation and two 200K accounts or whatever. With futures, it's like you can have 20 50K accounts. So I have like 15 or something like that, 50Ks. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then they're all in a copier. Can you explain how spread affects trades and how it works? With forex, this right here is your spreads. In the top left, you said right here, yeah, this 8.2 is your spreads. And so this is how your fills will get affected. This is, you know, the difference between the ask and the bid. So if you have wide spreads, if you have an 8.2 spread, you're gonna get cooked. Like, you don't want to be getting filled with an 8.2 spread, because if your limit is like 0.62518 and then there's an 8.2 spread, you're gonna be getting filled like 8 pips away from that. And so it just messes with your precision, because then you have to like tighten your stop loss and mess with everything. So you don't want to mess with spreads. Spreads suck. And that's why I like futures a lot, because there's no spreads. How much of your trading is done on futures and how much on CFD? I don't trade CFDs. It's all futures right now. I've purely been trading futures. Oh, all right. So weekly internal to external is playing out. CAT CHF looks pretty good. We do have that context lower. I'm going to add this to the short list just off that weekly context. So you could look to, you know, frame shorts off the 4-hour gaps, 1-hour gaps. The PD raise in the direction of that weekly sell side, because we have that clear draw. Breakaway gap, it's looking like that's a breakaway gap on the monthly. I'm gonna move this. You guys are gonna hear my mic move a little bit. There you go. All right, so weekly internal to external on CAD yen is playing out. How can one know which lot size to use on indices? So if you use TradingView, you can go like this. You can log into, like, I use Tradeovate, and so I'll be logged in right here in the trading panel into Tradeovate, and you can literally just create a limit order and it'll auto position size, so you just type that in. But if you don't have that and you're using somebody else and you have to like auto calculate your size, you either need a spreadsheet that you can just punch it in to do it quickly, or you need to do the mental math. So like if you're looking at ES, for example, ES is the S&P 500 futures. It's going to move $50 per point. So you have to understand what the cost per point is of movement on ES. So let's just say you want to risk, $100. You only want to risk $100 on ES. Well, that means you can only take one contract of ES and have a 2-point stop loss because it moves $50 per 1 point. So you can have a 2-point stop loss with one contract of ES, and then you're risking your $100. So you just have to do like mental math, or you can make a Google sheet. There's a bunch of Google sheet futures position size calculator things that you can use. Bro, my eyes are hurting. Hold on. I don't know where I put my glasses. Oh, they're over here. Hold on. It's gonna like follow me. It's gonna follow me to my bed. Yes, sir. It's so funny. Okay, these are my like blue light glasses. That's why they're yellow, but it helps my eyes, bro. My eyes are hurting right now. I see, mate. So it's all day trading only, or you holding overnight with a cash account. I have all these prop accounts where I have to be out by 4 p.m. So I'm just flattening by 4. Personally, that's what works the best for me, because even on my personal, like, because I have to deal with the rules, of the prop, I just flatten by 4. And bro, it looks like he stepped out of France. I look French. That's crazy. I copy trade in NinjaTrader using it's called Replicanto. All right, let's continue with this. Weekly internal to external is playing out. Daily internal to external played out as well. So you guys know I'm a big advocate of internal and external. The thing is, bro, it's just different ways of seeing the same thing, and you guys need to understand this. It's very important to understand, right? Price is only doing 2 things. It's offering fair value, or it's seeking liquidity. So if you want to just call it that and say, all right, price is offering fair value, now it should seek liquidity, that's the exact same thing as internal to external. So don't get caught up in all the names, it's just different ways of saying the same thing. Or if you just literally say, all right, price is trading to the imbalance, now it should draw to the liquidity. It's all the same stuff. It's all the exact same thing. So just don't get caught up on that. Or how do you overcome self-doubt or imposter syndrome and feeling unworthy of such amounts of money? That's a great question. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and this isn't the answer that you're gonna want to hear, but it's just the honest answer. I haven't had that many issues with it, but I think it just comes down to the reason for that is because I'm just the type of person where, like, when somebody tells me I can't do something, I have to do it. And when my mind gets set on doing something, I have to do it. So for me, I never had like any self-doubt, which sounds crazy, and a lot of people aren't going to relate to that. Unfortunately, that's the truth, and that's okay. But for me, like, you have to be delusional. Like, I can confidently say I'm a bit delusional. I just pursued this with absolute delusion. So what my advice to you would be just to embrace the delusion, and like, if you don't give up, bro, it's inevitable that you'll figure it out and be profitable. And you're absolutely worthy if you're putting the time in. So don't second guess your ability. I'm no different than you. I just have blind faith in myself, and I always have. And so that blind faith is what allowed me to become profitable and figure this out. So I wouldn't worry about it, man. Just continue to chip away, learn to love the process, and don't worry about, what other people like where they expect you to be. Like, don't conform to other people's ideas of where you should be in your life. Hopefully that makes sense. I feel like that's so important though. That was a great question. Daily internal to external, 4-hour gaps lower. So CAD yen does have the context, but it has played out lower. We have weekly context lower. I'm gonna add CAD yen to the shorts. CHF yen as well. Gonna add to the shorts. I can already tell off the bat that we have that weekly internal to external playing out. Daily gap is holding. Yeah, anything XXX yen right now is looking good for lower. Swing or day trade, which one is easy? I think swinging is easier, but I like intraday more. Honestly, like swinging is probably easier, but intraday, just to me, I prefer intraday. I love swinging too, though. I was swinging for a little bit there, and I loved it. So it's really preference, bro. Like what I say is not bond, you know. If you like swinging, then swing. Monthly buy side sweep, weekly pullback to this weekly fair value gap is now holding and heading higher. Daily gaps higher. So we could see this continue to move higher, Euro AUD. Monthly bullish order flow, weekly. This is interesting. It just hunted this low. So this is a stop hunt on the weekly. Love you from Nigeria. That's fire. I love you too. Thank you so much. Daily sell side sweep here. We're moving higher. So I'm expecting higher prices here as well. Just reacting to the order flow. I'm reacting to the higher time frames. That's all I'm doing. Euro CHF is moving lower. We have monthly bearish order flow. We had this hunt here. Weekly, internal to external playing out. I'm looking at this sell side. Daily, do we have a gap here? We do up here that we're moving lower off of. But there really isn't any clear context besides this weekly, internal to external. I would consider that still valid context, right? Because it's a clear draw to this sell side. So I'm going to add this to the short list as well. Euro pound. I don't like Euro pound because the monthly just looks gross. It always does. It's always wicky like this. But if it works for you, it works for you. I'm looking at this weekly gap that's getting created. A sting into that to potentially head lower. Could be nice weekly context. If that's the case and this falls through lower, then we have Euro pound week. You know, a bearish draw on liquidity on Euro pound. So that would mean that Euro is weaker than pound. So if you're taking, you know, EU or GU longs, you want to be longing the stronger of the two out of Euro and pound. So if Euro pound is going lower, then Euro is weaker. So you want to be longing GU potentially. So you always want to be longing the relatively strongest of Euro or pound and shorting the relatively weakest of Euro and pound. So anything correlated like that, that's always the case. Lower on the monthly, weekly, internal to external. Again, these XXX yen pairs have nice context. They're looking good for lower prices. I like XXX yen pairs right now. They're looking good. That's our area for value. It looks like a breakaway gap though. Monthly consolidation, buy side sweep here. Weekly, lack of follow through on both sides, what you don't want to see. Looking at this weekly gap, potentially to head lower off of. So higher to go lower potentially. That weekly context could be nice. We are delivering higher off this daily gap towards that weekly gap, which is my draw currently. Thanks for the responses, mate. Thought you were a higher time frame trader than intraday. So everything that I do on my intraday trades is based off the higher time frame. So I can do anything. I can trade the higher time frame. I can swing. I can pretty much do anything that I want. It really comes down to what you want to do. Like I personally am fine intraday trading and I enjoy it. I kind of like the instant feedback. Like I like to be in and out of my trades. I was enjoying swinging a lot as well. I can do both honestly and be fine, and I was profitable with both. But the thing, I honestly, bro, being like 100% transparent, the thing I didn't like about swinging was I felt like I was looking at it all day, and then like I would set alerts, like not looking at the charts all day, but like I felt like I had to execute all day. So I would be getting alerts at like an Asia session, which is late at night for me, and it would be like a great setup. So I would run to my charts and go execute, and it's like I just didn't like the need to have to execute all day long and like keep up with the alerts. So like with futures right now, I'm just showing up from 8 to 12 every morning, and that's it, and then I'm done for the day. So that's the main thing that I really like. When trading intraday, can you show an example of what you look for while having the higher time frame context? Yeah, there was a beautiful trade I showed to the premium members last week. I'll go over it again. I just keep showing it because it's just textbook model, textbook intraday setup. So I'll show you that on silver once we get there. Weekly internal to external, we're heading higher. We have a monthly bullish order flow as well. I'm looking at this buy side draw, right? Price offered, fair value. It should now seek liquidity higher. Daily breakaway gap here. I'm gonna add this to the long list because we do have that weekly context higher. GBP CAD swept that monthly candle high right here. Probably traded back, yep, into this gap. Interesting. I don't really like this delivery. It doesn't look that good to me. I see the lack of fair value gaps. I could just tell before even looking at the daily that the daily was going to look like this. I don't like this delivery. I'm not interested in trading something like this. Until we create new gaps higher, I'm not interested in GBP CAD. Getting cash with my baby for real. You already know the deal. So we have monthly bearish order flow here. We're not falling through higher from this gap, right? So if we're failing to offer fair value and head higher to seek that liquidity, we're seeking sell side down here, right? So we can see that very clearly from the monthly. We're failing to trade higher. There's no strength now. So I'm looking at this opposing sell side. I'm looking to target the opposing liquidity. Now we also have that weekly internal to external aligning with that. So I'm expecting this this weekly bullish fair value gap to fail and for us to potentially seek this sell side. So I'm looking at lower prices here. All being done simply with a gray box and a gray line. It's crazy, bro. Just read the fair value gaps, read the order flow, and consistently align with that and stay fluid with it. And that's all that you need. That's all that I do. And that's not me saying that to like sound cocky. It's just I want you guys to understand that it can be that simple. You know, I'm not any different than you. I'm not any better than any of you. I just have a simple way of viewing price, and I've put a lot of time into the charts. So if you want to achieve the exact same thing, I'm here to tell you you can absolutely do the exact same thing. There's nothing special about me besides, you know, the fact that I put in a lot of work. So just put the chart time in, study the things that I'm teaching here. If you want, you know, to invest money into it, I have a premium mentorship as well. Again, that's not something you have to do, but if you want to, that's there for you. You have the resources, so there's really no excuse. You know, that's the honest truth. It sounds blunt, it sounds rude, but that's the honest truth. If you really want this and you want to be profitable, there's no excuse. You have all the resources you need. You just have to put the chart time in, consistently show up. Like there hasn't been, like, I'm not even bullshitting you guys. There hasn't been a day that I haven't shown up in like the last 4 years. Like, I'm not bullshitting you. Like, that is the truth. I show up every single day. The only times I don't is obviously the weekends. Like, I'm not showing up to the charts every weekend. But if it's Monday through Friday, I'm showing up to the charts and I'm looking to trade. And I've showed up every single day consistently for like the last 4 years. So that's what it takes. So there's no excuse. That's my rant. But I have the most faith in all of you. I know that all of you can figure this out and be successful. It's just a matter of chart time and putting in the effort. What will you do if there's no red floater that week, but you find an A+ setup? So for my model that I'm trading with futures, I'm not demanding news on the day, but I am using, like I said, the economic calendar as the roadmap. So if there's no news on the week for my indices model, I call it Solis. It's indices. It's just a futures model from 8 to 12. So it's these right here, these 5 futures: ES, NQ, crude oil, gold, and silver. That's my Solis model. That's all I trade on it. And it's just showing up 8 to 12. If there's no news on the week, I'm expecting a chop week. I'm expecting low probability. But if we expand and we move, then I'm gonna trade it. So to answer your question, what will you do if there's no red folder that week, but you find an A+ setup? For my Solis model, I'll still take it, regardless of if there's no news. But I'm always using that economic calendar as a roadmap, right? So I'm skeptical that week. If there's no news on the week and I'm going into the week, I'm skeptical. I'm demanding of price. I'm saying, all right, price needs to show me and convince me that it actually wants to move. So price needs to actually like convince me that it's expanding. I need to see fair value gaps. I need to see price showing willingness, showing intention to actually want to move. And then if that happens, then yes, I'll take the A+ setup. So hopefully that answered your question. Gunner, what's up? What's up? What's up? How's it going, man? I hope you had a good weekend, brother. GBP between two PD arrays on the weekly. We should wait to see which one it disrespects first and then go in that direction. Right, so no, this is a good thing to talk about. So at this point, right, when we created this weekly bullish fair value gap, that's exactly what we had that you just mentioned, right? We had a trapped order flow on the weekly. So we're in this bearish weekly fair value gap, but we also have this bullish weekly fair value gap that we get trapped in. So what you see and what you tend to see when there's trapped order flow, when there's trapped fair value gaps like that, is consolidation. So just by looking at the weekly, you know, we can see that that's consolidation. On the 4 hour, chop, low probability. So this is what happens when there's conflicting or trapped order flow. So yes, you want to see it get disrespected, but to me, the way that this is closing, the way that this candle closed, it's disrespecting this weekly gap, and I'm expecting lower prices here. So for me, that's enough to see lower. Bro, honestly, you alongside Sir Pickle have simple IRL to ERL. How did you guys come to this conclusion of trading style after 80 concepts of ICT models? So everything that I've learned has come from ICT or students, people that, you know, educators within the space. So I've pulled things from a lot of different people. Everything that I've built to this point has been through my experience, but also through my study of ICT, other people. So just to give some flowers where they're due, right? It's very important to me to give flowers where they're due. This is a great thing to talk about. ICT is like the main person that everything was built off of. After ICT, I definitely took some inspiration and learned some things from mmxm trader. He's awesome. He's great. And then the other person that really helped and that I pulled some things from was Ario. So those, I would say those three are like the main people that really allowed me to get where I'm at today. But ICT is like 70%, 60% of it. And then the other, we'll say 40%, 20% was mmxm, 20% was Ario. Ario really simplified everything that I already knew and put it together for me. mmxm trader like helped a little with time frame alignment, things like that. And then ICT was the bulk of it. But everything that I've done and put together from this point is through my chart time. So the model that I built, completely mine. Everything, you know, that I trade with that model in terms of how it's put together is what I've just learned and put together. Like the model is built for me. So Solus is what I built for myself because I wanted a model that I love to trade and that made sense for me because I'm on the East Coast of the United States. So Solus was built for me. And then I'm just sharing it with the students because it's an amazing model. But yeah, everything I've learned is from either educators in the space or ICT himself. So those three mainly. So shout out to them. For example, we have weekly fair value gap. The price closed above it and disrespected, but it disrespected in daily. Do we have to wait for a weekly close because of our main PD array weekly fair value? I'm lost on that question. I'm not gonna lie. But why are we worried about trapped order flow when we are only trading current leg? That's a good question. So this is all that you'd be looking to trade off of in terms of the most recent swing low to swing high. But this is a monthly leg in itself. So when you're trading off the current leg, Thomas, this is how price is fractal, right? So this swing low to this swing high. Whoops, I can't mark it for some reason. Why can I not mark it? This swing low right here to this swing high isn't the current leg on the weekly because we have this swing low to this swing high right here. This, I would argue that's the current leg at this time. But this swing low to this swing high is a current leg on the monthly. This is the fractal nature of price. So this is the current leg on the monthly. And so the reason I say just trapped order flow and expecting it is because this is still part of the monthly leg. We have this weekly gap here, and then we have, you know, this current leg on the weekly. So the order flow is trapped. We have a discount fair value gap and then a premium bearish fair value gap. And so within this current leg, we want to see this weekly gap get disrespected because we ultimately are expecting potentially lower prices here based on the monthly. So starting from the monthly current leg, that's how I understood that weekly current leg should go lower. So that weekly bullish fair value gap shouldn't hold because of my understanding of the monthly. And that's exactly doing what I just showed you before, and what we're talking about right now, the current leg. So the current leg on the monthly, the current swing low to swing high is from there to there. So current swing leg, current order flow on the monthly is this. Then I mark out the fair value gaps in it. I understand liquidity or fair value. But we fail to offer fair value and trade higher. If we were going to trade higher, we should have done so and started to seek this buy side. We're failing to do that. We're failing to offer fair value and follow through higher. So I'm looking at this sell side. So I have a bearish draw from the monthly. So now when I drop into the weekly and I'm looking at that current order flow, right? This is like a really in-depth breakdown of what I'm doing. Now I'm dropping into the current price leg of the weekly. We have this weekly gap, which again, technically isn't in the current leg. I get that. But we have that weekly gap that we're moving lower off of. And that aligns with our weekly, or our monthly draw lower. So we're looking for this bullish fair value gap within that current leg to fail, which it's doing. And so then we have a clear draw from this weekly leg. Now we have a clear draw from this weekly current leg to this sell side because it's failing to offer fair value as well. So the monthly and the weekly are, agreeing, and they should be moving lower. So that's how I'm getting to where I'm going with the draw and liquidity. Sorry if that was confusing. That stuff is kind of hard to explain, but it's basically the run through of it. So I'm looking for lower. Long story short. Yeah, Pickle's like my best friend. So we have been sharpening each other, building things, learning from each other, teaching each other stuff. And yeah, so he pretty much is trading an extremely similar model to Solus. That's my dog, man. That's my brother. Weekly internal to external. Bearish fair value gap. So we have, sorry, not weekly, monthly. Internal to external. I don't know what I said before. Whatever I just said 5 seconds ago, disregard it. Monthly internal to external. The monthly bearish fair value gap to the sell side. That is what I meant to say. I don't know what I said before. Okay. So we have a clear draw on the monthly. We have our monthly internal to external, and we're looking for lower prices. So we have a bearish bias, a bearish draw lower from the monthly. So we understand that from the top down. Now we drop into the weekly and we apply that logic. Well, now the weekly has our internal to external as well. So I'm looking at lower, anything again, XXX yen, I'm looking for lower prices on. Basically, we don't need to trade like these pairs. Lovely breakdown. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, but what do you mean by basically we don't need to trade like these pairs? Monthly bullish order flow. This order block here. It's easy, man. Thanks. Awesome, Thomas. Love that. Thomas, also let me know, like, if you ever want to ask questions in the DM, you could do it in premium chat as well. But if you ever needed to DM me or just ask me questions in the DMs, feel free to do that whenever. Just let me know. GBP/JPY, weekly bearish unicorn. You could consider this. Let me look at the monthly. Are you talking about this? This is an area of order mitigation. I'm expecting lower. Yeah, you can. I guess I would consider that one. It's not the clearest, but yeah, that's valid. Swing low, swing high, then the swing high gets swept. We get our breaker block, and then the fair value gap formed within it. So I would consider that valid. Monthly breakaway gap potential here. Weekly trading higher from this leg. Sloppy. Daily, not much here. Internal to external. Daily is potentially shifting here, so this might actually want to go higher, but I don't love it. The daily is pointing higher as of right now, so we'll see if this falls through, but I don't love that. My eyes are hurting right now. My fault, guys. Weekly internal to external. New Zealand dollar CAD. Like pound CHF, but GBP CHF has a swing high and a swing low in the down leg on the monthly. Why isn't that the most recent leg? If you want to look at this as the most recent leg, absolutely. For sure. Price is fractal, so this is, you know, that large leg on the weekly, right? So that's valid. If you want to consider this a leg, that's fine. To me, it's like you're getting to the same place by looking at this leg or that leg. So it's either this swing low to swing high or this swing low to swing high. But to me, Gunner, it's just like splitting hairs. You know, it's not. But if you want to be technical, yeah, that's fine. Correct. But just splitting hairs to me. Weekly internal to external. The whole point of viewing those most recent swing low to swing highs is it's making sure that you're only trading the recent order flow, because that's what price is gonna, you know, be referring to. And so that's the important part about it. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure, bro. You're good. Sorry, I don't know if I like came off defensive there. That's not how I intended that at all. I was just like you're correct. I didn't know how else to like explain it. So hopefully you didn't think I was being like rude, because that was not my intention. Weekly internal, daily. Not much here to take from the daily, but the 4 hour looks gross as well. So this weekly gap, if I was going to be trading this weekly gap higher, I would want to see new 4 hour gaps, because this is not convincing movement at all. Like, I wouldn't want to be trading longs on this right now after this candle. I need to see new 4 hour gaps before I'm even interested in this. So potentially, if you want to add New Zealand dollar CAD because it has that weekly context, that's valid. But I would be waiting. I would be highly skeptical, and I would be waiting for those 4 hour gaps to form. Monthly, didn't trade into that monthly gap. Weekly, area of fair value here is holding. Price should now potentially seek this sell side. There's probably daily gaps here as well. This looks good for lower. I'll add that to the short list. New Zealand dollar yen as well is going to be good for lower because it's an XXX yen pair. So I really like these XXX yen pairs for shorts. They look good. Monthly internal to external clear draw on the monthly. Mitigation blocks are formed from failure swings, so should be stronger or just as the same. Yeah, so failure swings are mitigation blocks. Breaker blocks, breaker swings, both forms of order mitigation. With the actual unicorns though, you're only looking for those breaker swings. So those breaker blocks. No way, man. I didn't feel offended at all. You're a nice guy. Amazing. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, you're correct. If you want to consider that swing the current, because it's like, I just like it's the same to me, you know. So monthly, current leg, internal to external, right? So bearish fair value gap to sell side. So clear draw on the monthly, right? New Zealand dollar yen. We always, when we have these monthly draws, when we have a clear understanding of where the monthly is going, that is the, how do I put this? That is the best case scenario for a draw, because the monthly is the king time frame, the strongest time frame. So when you have a clear draw on the monthly and you have a clear understanding of where the monthly is going, you have a full month of being able to operate with that bias. So if this entire month we're just expanding lower and we have a clear draw and it's following through lower, you have that entire month to be framing shorts off of the premium arrays. So you want to be milking those shorts from that monthly context, from that monthly bearish bias. So I'm looking for lower on New Zealand dollar yen. My phone is blowing up right now. Daily, internal, there's no retracement to this gap. I gotta throw my phone, bro. It's distracting me. It's blowing up. All right. I lost my train of thought now. New Zealand dollar, New Zealand dollar yen shorts. The daily breakaway gap likely is not getting retraced to. I'll add this to the short list because we do have that monthly context that I just mentioned before, right? That's the best case scenario of what you want to be seeing, because you have that full month of shorts or bearish bias, right? So forget what I was gonna say before I lost my train of thought there, but oh yeah, so this is what I was gonna say. The daily is creating this breakaway gap, so we're not expecting, at least as of right now, based on the lower time frame order flow, right? The 1 hour and 4 hour, based on this candle right here, is going to be, you know, bearish. It's going to be creating bearish fair value gaps and pointing lower. So we're expecting that daily breakaway gap to remain as such unless the order flow shifts bullish and starts retracing to it. So if we're expecting lower and we're expecting this to remain a you know, breakaway gap, we can frame shorts off of the 4 hour gaps lower. So that's very important to understand, right? If we're expecting this daily gap up here to not get retraced to, then you can frame shorts off of these 4 hour gaps. So if we're going to go lower and that's going to remain a daily breakaway gap, we would want to see it do so from here. And if it doesn't, if it just expands higher and we get a strong shift on the 4 hour, then we're likely actually retracing towards that daily gap. So that's how I approach the breakaway gaps. I get that question a lot. And so that was a little gem right there for sure. That was a little gem because I haven't really explained how I approach breakaway gaps in depth like that. So that's nothing like super advanced, but that is how you approach the breakaway gaps. If you're expecting it to not get retraced to, if we're expecting this to remain a daily breakaway gap, then you want to see this intermediate time frame, these, you know, 1 hour, 4 hour order flows and fair value gaps continue to respect and head lower. So the areas of fair value, like right here, this is our area of fair value where price has already delivered efficiently. This is the only area of inefficiency. So if price is going to continue lower and that daily breakaway gap up there is going to remain as such, then it should deliver lower from there. Bro, do you have a clear trade plan that you have available for us to draft off of? Yeah, so I have a model. It's called Solus. I haven't given out Solus for free, unfortunately. It's for the premium members. So if you want to join and you know, live trade with us for 7 days, there is a free trial where you can try the premium and then just cancel it if you don't like it. Honestly, the free trial is a no-brainer, like, just being honest. I'm not even trying to like promote to you guys that hard, but it's a no-brainer because you can just cancel if you don't like it. So I don't know why everyone wouldn't be doing the premium free trial. If you don't like it, then just literally cancel at the end of the week, and you got free knowledge, you got a free look at the premium, and that's it. You just go on your way. But for the Solus model is a part of the course for the premium members. So the actual free trial is just live trading, you know, the resources in the Discord, premium access to the Discord. But for like the paid premium members, there's a full course, and then there's 2 models. One model is Solus. Solus is my intraday futures model that I trade. It's my baby. It's the model that, you know, I've been building over the last 4 years, and it's just perfect for me. If you're trading futures and you like New York kill zone, even if you like London, Solus is perfect. Like, Solus is the best model. I swear. I'll die on that hill. I love Solus. I think it's a beautiful model. So if you need a model, that's the one I would recommend. What's the link to the premium channel? So this is the website where you can just sign up for the free trial. Here, I'll drop it right here. And yeah, I don't know why everyone wouldn't do the free trial, because you just cancel if you don't like it. It's a no-brainer. But I don't want to be like promoting to you guys too hard. So we need to be able to do this stuff ourselves, and so we need to ask questions if there's things that are still unclear. Same as the uni explanation the other day. Absolutely, bro. And that's one thing I love about you, Gunner, is you've been asking very thoughtful questions from the day you joined premium. And that's how I know you're going to be successful, because you're asking thoughtful questions, and that just shows that you're applying yourself. There's something I like to say to all the students and the people that are looking to learn from me. And I always say, thoughtful questions get thoughtful answers. So for the people that I can tell, like, this is just the honest truth, right? I like to be really, really transparent about everything that I'm, thinking or doing. The people that half-ass their study, the people that half-ass their questions and just use me as like a Google, stupid, like, not stupid questions, but lazy, that's the right word, lazy questions, like questions that they could figure out in 3 seconds if they just looked it up. That stuff is not going to get an insightful response from me. I'm not going to be giving you a thoughtful, this is that XYZ type of response. Like, those are going to get lazy responses back from me because I can see that they're not applying themselves. But like, not to gas you up, Gunner, but to give you your compliment here, like, I can see that you're really applying yourself, and I know that you're going to be successful. So when you're asking thoughtful questions like that, you're going to get the most out of me as a mentor, and you're going to get the most out of me as a teacher. So that goes for everyone that watches my content, even if you're not in premium, if you're just in the live chats, if you're just even just asking me stuff in the Discord or on Twitter. If you ask thoughtful questions and I can see that you're really applying yourself to learn, you're going to get the most out of me. You're going to get, because I truly want to see you guys win, and I love to help. So if you ask good questions, you're going to get not even good questions, but if you ask thoughtful questions where I can see you're applying yourself, you're going to get the like really, really strong answers out of me, really insightful answers. So a little rant. I had to go on a little rant there, but that's really important to understand for the people that are learning from me. If you want to get the most out of me, you have to apply yourself and really ask those type of good questions. Really apply yourself. Once we have a bias, then how should we plan to execute the trade? An example in this live stream. I'll give you a perfect example, right? Once we get to silver, which is almost there. So let's run through my indices analysis now. For those of you that are trading Solis, this is the goal. This is the good analysis. Indices, commodities, that's what you're waiting for Solis. So everything that I do, even intraday, it's built off the foundation of understanding what the higher time frame is doing. So if I have a strong understanding of what the monthly, the weekly, the daily, or the 4 hour are doing, that is the foundation of how I'm building these trade ideas. It's built off the understanding of which way those time frames are expanding. That's like the simplest way I can put it. So from there, once I have that box checked, I'm looking for a PD rated trade in that direction. Then I'm waiting for my entry model, and it has to occur within a very specific time. That's like the most simple form of the model, the most simple like formula for it. New Zealand dollar yen looks nice, but it has no red folder news. Should I avoid? I think it comes down to your model. If you're using the exact model that I taught on my YouTube, when I was intraday trading crosses, when I was intraday trading forex in New York, specifically New York kill zone, I was demanding news on the day, because New York kill zone is like the end of the forex day. New York kill zone is kind of shoddy with forex specifically, because sometimes it won't move and sometimes it will, and it's kind of the end of the day. So if you're demanding news, that can be really powerful for like trading forex in New York. So I think it comes down to what you want to do when you're trading all these things. The point is, the main thing, right, with news, with kill zones, with time in general, is if you're intraday trading, you want volatility on your side. And so the main reason for all of those things, whether it's trading within a kill zone, whether it's waiting for news on the day, whether it's gauging the economic calendar, it's the whole point of those is to make sure that you're trading on days with volatility. So it's to make sure that you're trading on days that actually want to move. So it comes down to you and what you want to do. Long story short. Yeah, so if you're using the exact same model as my YouTube, then yeah, I would demand news on the day. Monthly. All right, so indices, bro. Indices are interesting. Indices are in a weird spot. We have monthly bullish order flow, right? And price has traded back into this discount order block. This is our area of fair value, where if price is going to trade higher, it should do so from here. But we can see this is a very strong retracement. We're failing to actually seek this buy side. And so this is not a good sign for longs. But the monthly trend, the monthly order flow is still bullish. So I'm kind of waiting right now. I do think that we may be targeting this sell side. The way that we failed to follow through higher from that monthly order block. You know, we're failing to trade higher from this weekly bullish fair value gap. We're getting a strong close in it. Shorts may be on the menu here, and we may be getting a top here. I don't like to call tops. I like to let the order flow show its hand and point to me what it's doing. But this may be the weekly shifting here. You know, we're clearly disrespecting this weekly bullish fair value gap. The monthly is failing to expand higher from this area of fair value and create new fair value gaps higher. So we may be looking at this sell side right here as the draw, because we're failing to expand higher. And what we're seeing is the daily shift now. So the daily has created these gaps lower, and we're expanding lower. So it's looking pretty bearish to me. Again, that monthly trend is bullish, but if I had to pick gun to my head right now, it's looking like shorts are on the menu. Potentially failure to offer fair value here and trade higher. So I'd be looking at this sell side to be the draw. That's how indices are looking to me. It's going to be the exact same analysis on ES and NQ. Still following you, bro. Low from Africa. Guys, let's like the video. Yeah, if you could drop a like on the video, that'd be amazing. Thank you so much, bro. Thanks for the kind words. That's so cool that you are tuning in from Africa. I love it. I love seeing the different places that you guys are tuning in from around the world. That's so humbling and cool. Like, it's just so sick. Same analysis on NQ. We are failing to, create new. So here's what you got to understand, right? I'll break it down a little bit more in detail. The monthly order flow is bullish, and we want to submit to that. We want to submit to the trend. But if we are truly, as bullish as we expect, if we have, indices that truly want to go higher, they should create new fair value gaps off of this order block. So if indices still wanted to head higher right now, they would be creating new gaps off of that monthly order block. So what we're seeing in this current leg, this current monthly leg, is a lack of fair value gaps, a lack of intention to actually want to expand higher. So indices are looking bearish to me. We're failing again to head higher off of this weekly internal. So I'm looking at this sell side. We're failing to offer fair value. To me, this looks like lower prices on indices. Daily gap, daily area for value here. Trade into that to the tick. Look at how we hit the overlapping fair value gap and order block almost to the tick. Beautiful delivery. I feel like indices and futures just respect these concepts so beautifully. This is that area of fair value here, right? So all of this was efficiently delivered, buy side and sell side. Boom, we offer sell side. This is all irrelevant to price. So if we're going to expand higher, we should do so from this area of fair value. What do we see? It stings that to the tick. Beautiful delivery. Love to see that. Now we have this this 4 hour gap. Price is already offered fair value. I'm only looking at the current price leg. So I'm looking at lower indices. I'm gonna add them to the shorts list. Now, for those of you that asked about the setup, when we get to silver, we'll run through that for you guys. Monthly trading lower. I'm looking at this monthly sell side potentially. This leg we're expanding through. Again, this is the current leg. We're expanding through that sell side. Not much to pull from the monthly right now. The weekly current leg, there's a lack of fair value gaps, but we are creating one potentially this week. So again, there's a lack of context, but it is looking very bearish. We have this daily gap up here. This could act as a potential draw. I'm not 100% positive. I would need to see the 1 hour and the 4 hour start pointing towards this if I was ready to say longs on crude oil. Right now it's still bearish order flow on the 1 hour and 4 hour. So if we are going to potentially draw towards this area of fair value here, then the 1 hour and 4 hour are going to confirm that. Everything that I do is built off letting the order flow, letting the time frames confirm where price is going. So if we're looking for a higher draw on daily, potentially towards this area of fair value, then we need the 1 hour and 4 hour to confirm that by shifting bullish and by creating gaps towards it. And so if we just expand lower and we continue to drop, then we're just not, this becomes a breakaway gap and we're just looking for the sell side likely down here. But right now I'm open to both sides and I'm just waiting for more price action on crude oil. Peace out, bro. Love from Trinidad, West Indies. That's sick, bro. Peace out, bro. I hope you have a good rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, man. Appreciate you tuning in and showing love. Weekly internal to external. Weekly, yeah. Just kind of sloppy. Yeah, daily looks gross, man. Gold daily looks pretty yucky. So I'm not really interested in this right now. I'm good on gold, right? I'm not interested in trying to put risk on during price action that looks like that. So if it looks like this, just a good rule of thumb is run away. If there's a lack of fair value gaps on the higher time frame, if there's a lack of intention and expansion on the higher time frame, just hit the road. Don't even look at it. So I'm not interested in gold right now. Now silver looks a lot cleaner than gold, and silver provides clarity, and it's why I avoided a loss last week on gold, because my understanding of silver, and them being correlated, there was a lot of red flags. So I'm actually looking for lower silver, or at least the order flow on silver. That's the way it's looking. Weekly internal to external, this bearish weekly fair value gap. I'm gonna get rid of the WFEG and just make it normal. We have weekly internal to external, that clear draw. We have a daily sell model, daily internal to external. And so if we drop into the 4 hour, we could potentially, this is a huge gap, but we could potentially frame shorts and lower prices towards this weekly sell side down here. So I like silver shorts potentially. I'll be watching that. Now, last week, you guys, well, before I even talk about last week, within this stream, you guys have been asking me for to show a setup, to show a beautiful trade, to show just a walkthrough withdrawal and then the setup intraday. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. This was a textbook setup on silver. It's so beautiful. Just textbook. So the very first thing that I'm doing is getting a clear draw on liquidity from the higher time frame. Well, on silver, we already had it. We had this weekly internal to external. So we have a bearish bias, a bearish draw on liquidity to the sell side. At the time of this trade that I'm about to show you, gold hadn't traded into that weekly bullish gap either. So gold had to draw lower towards the area of fair value, towards that fair value gap. And so we had to draw on gold as well, confirming lower prices. So on silver, we have internal to external. On gold, we had external to internal, both confirming and agreeing with lower metals. Now, the next thing that we're doing is waiting for the 4 hour to shift from that weekly gap. So what I'm going to do is transpose the weekly gap so you guys can see it to the other time frame. Once the 4 hour is in alignment with this weekly draw, which it is at this point, right, we can look to frame shorts off of the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15-minute PD race in the direction of that weekly draw. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up because this isn't where the setup was. I believe it was on Tuesday. Yeah, so this is it, right? We have the 4 hour that I just showed you in alignment. We have the 1 hour in alignment. Both of those intermediate timeframes are pointing lower. Those are acting as a compass, pointing us lower towards that weekly sell side, that draw that I just showed you before, internal to external, bearish bias. And so I'm looking for a 1 hour or 4 hour fair value gap or stop hunt to trade in the direction of that draw lower, occurring within the 8 to 12 time window. This setup was so textbook. So what we're going to see, and I've showed it to a bunch of people already because it's just so beautiful. We have this 1 hour gap that forms. This is our higher time frame PD ray that we can look to trade off of in the direction of that draw lower. So now that that has formed, we transpose this to the 5 minute, we drop into the 5 minute, and we look for an entry model. Price trades into our window of execution, 8 to 12. Now I'm waiting for my entry model. Here's the entry model forming now. We have a stop hunt. We have a breaker block potentially getting created right here. Now I'm waiting for a clear leg lower for this to be the current leg for me to trade off of in short. This is our unicorn, entry model. So I'm waiting for a clear leg, a clear displacement lower, a body close below this breaker block. Boom, we have now closed below. I set my entry limit right here, my sell limit right here. I set my stop right above this breaker or a couple points above, and I just target 2R. We let that thing go. Beautiful. Literally textbook beautiful. It goes for a lot more than 2R. I'm okay with just getting 2R consistently. Some people are going to disagree with that. If you want, what you can do is take 70, 60, 80% off at 2R and then hold runners for that draw. I personally don't do that. I'm content with enough. I don't like to introduce variables of greed or emotions or anything like that to my trading. I'm good with a high win rate, like a 70, 68% win rate, and 2R, bro. That's more than enough to compound to get an extremely, extremely large account building. So that's all you need. Like, I'm good. I don't need anything more. Less is more, and I'm content with enough. So catching my piece of 2R of these moves every time, it's fine by me. So that's a perfect trade example, and just beautiful textbook setup. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much the forecast. This is the long list right here. So let me move my face for you guys actually. This is the long list. This is the short list. There's a lot of things on the short list right here. And then this is the wait list. I have like nothing on the wait list right now. If you trade XAUU, USD, or silver, do we use day or do we use plain technicals? What do you mean? Do we use day or do we use plain tech? I'm not sure what that question means, bro. I trade silver though. I don't trade XAUU, USD. I trade the silver futures and the gold futures. Oh, Dixie. Do we use Dixie? I don't use Dixie on these. Nah. Personally, I don't feel the need to. I just trade the order flow on these pairs or tickers. So I literally just look at these contracts. And I just trade the order flow, aka the candlesticks. I keep it simple, man. I keep it really, really simple. I think that simple scales, and when you have a simple approach to the markets, when you have a simple strategy, you can put your focus on your psychology and your execution and your risk management, and it just makes for consistent performance. Straight up just everything I just showed you. That's it. Fair value gaps, order flow. That's all I do. All that I do is everything that I just showed you, bro. It's crazy, right? It almost seems unbelievable. That's all it is. That's all it takes. But it's really all it is. There's nothing more that I do. I just have a deeper understanding. And that's not me being like cocky. It's just that's the reality of it. It's just a lot of chart time, understanding the order flow, understanding fair value gaps, drawing liquidity, understanding time and aligning with it, and honestly just mastering my emotions and my risk. And I don't get emotional. You'll never see me. I literally live trade for all the premium members in the Discord. You'll never see me get emotional in the live trades. You'll never see me close a trade early because of my emotions. You'll never see me make those emotional errors because it's something that I hammered in so early. So all of those things coming together into one, into one strategy or whatever, that is what makes it so profitable. I don't need a midnight open. I don't need all the other indicators, power of 3. I don't need to see all that stuff all over the chart. Just simplicity, man. Simplicity scales. Silver on the long list. Oh shit, good call. Why is it on the long list? Oh, this is from last week. That's why. Good call though, Gunner. See, this is what I mean, man. This is what I mean about my guy Gunner, bro. Attention to detail. This guy's locked in. I didn't even notice that. The reason that was there is because I have the micros that I'm executing on right here. And so that was from last week when I was looking for longs, potentially. or whenever I was looking for longs on silver. I don't know when it was. But yeah, my guy Gunner, man, be paying attention. I love it. I love to see that. That's how I know you're gonna figure this stuff out. Was your silver intraday trade a 1 hour wick stop point? It was the 1 hour gap. It was this 1 hour gap. Right here. I was just trading off this 1 hour gap, the overlapping for value gap and order block right here. That was my higher time frame PD array for the trade. My draw was lower bearish bias, and then I waited for my entry model within the time frame. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. And I feel like this was this weekly forecast was filled with gems. I feel like this was a really valuable one. So for the people that missed it, at least it'll be on the YouTube for you guys to watch. Some of you are probably watching that right now in the future, which is trippy to think about, but yeah, I feel like this was insightful. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. For those of you that are, you know, in the Discord, in the premium, you know, server of the Discord, I'll be live trading 3 times, you know, this week. I'll be in there all week. I'm excited to, you know, have another week of growth with you guys. And for those of you that are in the free server, I'll have some analysis in there for you as well. But for the live trading, that's for my premium guys. I'm super excited to, you know, just keep growing with everyone in there. So for those of you that are already in there, let's get locked in. For those of you that haven't, if you want to join, you can, you know, click this link right here. You'll get a 7-day free trial. Like I said earlier in the stream, I don't know why you wouldn't, you know, take advantage of that, because if you don't like it after 7 days, just cancel, and you got free knowledge, you got free value. And yeah, so it's just literally a no-brainer. I can't wait to see you guys in there. And for those of you that are in there, let's have another week of growth. Appreciate you guys tuning into the stream. I love all of you, and yeah, man, I can't wait to see you all win, truly. So enjoy the rest of your days, and thanks for tuning in. I truly appreciate you guys, you know, consistently watching my stuff and showing love. So have a good rest of the day, guys. We will talk very soon, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, peace out.